we're taking a look at a classic watch. It is the Hamilton Khaki Field. It's one of those watches that everyone has on their list when they first start out collecting. This one has a little bit of a twist to it. It has a PVD coated black case. It also has a black dial. So it's sort of a stealthy version of the classic. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a stealthy version of the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. This is a DLC or PVD coated, version of the Khaki Field Mechanical in 38 millimeters. And I have to say, I'm actually impressed with the strap on this watch because past versions that I have experienced, the NATO strap, not very good. It comes in Hamilton packaging, which is, not very interesting, but at this price point, I completely understand it's really not that bad. This is the mechanical version, so that means it is a hand-wound version. You get the H-50 caliber inside, and that means you just hand wind, and that is it. So it does get 80 hours of power reserve, so basically it's an 80-hour power reserve. It's not a Powermatic 80 technically, the H-50, but it is an 80-hour power reserve version of like an ETA 7001, I think it is. I'm not entirely sure, so don't quote me on that part, but it is a hand-wound ETA movement that gets 80 hours of power reserve, which is not a bad thing at all. And what they do with this case, it's basically very similar to other Khaki Fields that you have seen from Hamilton. It's entirely bead blasted, but then they coat it with a PVD coating that's in black. So it's a very, very simple execution that gets a black PVD coating. You get that old radium lume again on the hands and on the little triangles in the minute track. You get white printed indices. You get 12-hour scale, then a 24-hour scale, very military inspired. And then you have an arrow hand with a little counterbalance. I believe the counterbalance is loomed as well. I'm not entirely sure, but we will do a lume shot at the end. But I know that the hands, which are sort of like fence post syringe hands, or well, not really syringe hands, but more like fence post hands, but more vintage inspired. They get lume in them, and that is obviously the old radium style lume. You get a big grippy crown on here. It is not screwed down, which is a good thing because you will need to wind this every 80 hours, which is really not that bad when you think about it. It's actually pretty good, but all in all, a very straightforward, very good-looking military-inspired watch. Now, I was saying that the strap actually is impressive compared to other versions that I have seen in the past. Now, I actually owned a Khaki Field that was not the 80-hour power reserve version, and they definitely have upgraded this buckle significantly and upgraded this strap significantly since that previous version. It's still a double pass-through NATO, which I don't love, but it is a lot softer. And I remember the previous version having some sort of rough edges on it. This doesn't have any of that. And you have leather on the tip. You have leather for the keepers, or where the holes are for the strap, and then the keepers are leather as well. And of course, you have a milled buckle, which is signed Hamilton. Really nice. 38 millimeters, and we'll do measurements, but this is usually spot on at 38 millimeters. So 37.7, 37.8, just around 38 millimeters. Crown 6.4 millimeters, but it's actually kind of long. It's almost like 3.6 millimeters long, which is really good. Thin watch. These are thin. Unfortunately, they do give you a double pass-through NATO, so it does make it wear thicker. So 9.3 millimeters. I took mine off immediately off the strap, not only because it wasn't very good, but because it obviously was, made the watch thicker. One thing I have to say about these watches, they don't put a lot of AR coating. So in the studio here, in the Joma Shop studios here, it does reflect a lot, but in person it's not as bad, but you can see it does reflect a lot. You do get a domed sapphire crystal on here, and then drilled lugs. And so you can change straps pretty easily. And then of course the lug to lug is 46.8. But if you measure it on the NATO strap, it's another disadvantage to a NATO strap, 48.7. But like I said, if I bought this, I would immediately change the strap on here because it definitely is worth changing the strap. Very quickly, the actual number on this watch, the manufacturer's number for this is the H69409930. You get 50 hours of power reserve, and it is PVD coated, not DLC coated. Just want to make sure that is very clear. And I think this retails for like $545, somewhere around there. Joma Shop has it a little bit cheaper than that, which of course is great. It's a good looking watch. And you know, when it comes to field watches, there are a few field watches out there that actually have really amazing histories. This is one of them. You know, Bulova make one, and there's a few others. The Hack. This is a great watch with a great history, and you can get them for a great price. And they're Swiss made. You get a Swiss made 80-hour power reserve watch, which is phenomenal. Anyway, very quickly, a Lume shot, and then we will wrap up the video. Well, there you go. Lume is decent on this watch. It's not incredible. Of course, you're getting old radium. Old radium to begin with is not as good as regular, just straight up extra bright white Lume. But there you go. It's, you know, in keeping with the watch. I think it looks good with the black. Also, the black case. I really do like the combination, that creamy color. The black case looks very good. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of Hamilton? What do you think of the history? What do you think of the black PVD coated version of such a popular watch? You know, I think it adds a little sportiness to it, but I still think it looks very classic. I like it. I think it looks great. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. We want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and we very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. This is Watch Chris signing off. I'll catch you guys in the next video.